Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Let's see. Let me move this over here. I see Matt is on. Ron, hey, pal. Hey to you as well. Hi, Matt. Mike M. C-Bus ready to go. All right. Hi to everybody. Geert, hello. TBA. It's snowing today where you are? Oh, man, you're kidding me. Well, it was pretty warm. It's interesting. I came back and it's warmer here in upstate New York than it was in Vegas. Now it's cold again today. But hello to everybody. It's really good to be back home. I had getting back from Vegas was took me 24 hours in the airport over the last couple days. So I took the red eye and got stranded in Detroit for I don't know about 16 hours yesterday. So I'm pretty tired, but glad to be back. Hey, anyway, we've got 12 people, and Nemo Unknown, hello. Yeah, well, it's the vagaries of traveling. You travel all the time, you're going to have those once in a while, but it's not fun. But you live with it. We got 13 people on. Hey, so because of that, I have been without a guitar for I don't know, about 2 weeks. And so it felt really good to get home. Obviously, my family, my wife and kids gave them a big hug and all that, but it also felt good to get a guitar into my hands. And because of that, I want to talk to a few of us I want to just take some time to talk about warming up, because it's something that when I was younger, didn't need to do or didn't think I needed to do. But as I get older, it takes me longer and longer to warm up. And so I just thought I'd share with you kind of some of the things that I try to do that's right, Mike, 2 weeks. Pretty normal, actually, these days. I'm traveling way too much. So I thought I'd share with you at least some of the things that I do to warm up. So the very first thing I'm going to do is, because I'm an older man, I know some of you are older than I am even. Well, not that that's such a big deal these days, but because I'm older, I'm a little bit colder. When I was younger, I was always warm. T-shirt was totally fine. You can see I'm in a T-shirt. So I'm going to do the first thing that I think it's important to do, and that is get your body temperature warm enough so you can do it. Hey, Lewis, good to see you. Frank, Anthony, get your body temperature warm enough so that it's going to be comfortable with you. So I'm just going to put on this Mr. Rogers sort of fleece, and we'll get going. And now I'll pick up the guitar. All right. So I'll pick up the guitar. I'll put on the strap. I'm going to remind myself and everybody else, I'm going to try and keep the fretboard up so that y'all can see it. I have a habit of not doing that. I'll try to do that to the best of my abilities. You let me know if it doesn't work. Hey, Frank, good to see you. I'm anonymous. Morning to you. Yeah, they make those folding guitars. Never used one of those. All right. So I sometimes bring my mandolin to keep my fingers, or one of my mandolins to keep them in limber. I was in Vegas, among other things. I was in Detroit for a while too, which was fun. And hey, El Rondo, good to see you. And that was always fun as well. Paul Davids took down his copyright rant video. I wonder why. He must have gotten in trouble for it. It's too bad. I thought he had some good ideas in there. All right. So once your body temperature is kind of there, and by the way, you can soak your hands in warm water. That's another thing that's helpful. I learned that from Steve Morse, who said that. I hope you're not drug running. No, why would you think that? No, I'm not drug running. My goodness. Okay. So the second thing is, before we even do anything, there's basically, once you get your temperature where you need it to be, there's basically two things I think about. Number one is stretching, and number two is sort of fretboard stuff. Okay. So with stretching, I think of two different things. I think of the wrist and forearm, and I think of the fingers. And I used to do things, I used to crack my knuckles all the time. I try not to do that, but I still need my fingers to be warmed up. So here's kind of what I do. The first thing is I do the wrist, and I just do it. I try and keep my fingers straight. I don't want to hyperextend them like this. I try to keep them straight, and I'll apply pressure like this to just kind of stretch out this thing right here. It's also helpful if you have a flat surface. You can do that a lot. When I really mashed up my thumb 2 years ago and I had a bunch of surgery that was done on this, I did that often and it really made a difference. So you can do that with the entire wrist. You can also come down like this as well. So just kind of stuff like that, up, down. And also I like stretching out some of the inner hand by doing these. You want to do it pretty gently. You don't want to do it fast or anything like that. You don't want to yank it, but it's just a slow pull, just like any muscle sort of exercise, just really slow. All right. So that's that. With the fingers, I try and keep it really simple. Like I say, I don't try to hyperextend fingers anymore. I don't do that anymore. So I basically just do two things. Number one is I try and get a separation between them. I see it's coming in and out on the focus. So the first thing I try and do is I try to get a separation. So maybe it's easier to show it this way. I take the other hand and I separate them like this, again, very slowly. And I'll do it to each one. And I don't know if this helps me get finger independence or what. I doubt it. Probably I could write a book and have everybody believing it does. I doubt it does that, but it does give you some stretch. And then I do this a lot. Now you can hear my knuckles cracking. I don't know if you could hear that, but my knuckles will crack. And once I do that, I find, and then I'll do that a couple of times, back and forth. I'll do that a couple of times, mostly on my left hand. I don't do it as much on my right hand, but you can do it to the right hand as well. Okay, same with the wrist. Once you do that a couple of times, it gets pretty good. You can really feel the circulation growing in there. Now, another thing, I'll give you another secret to me. I take some Advil before I play sometimes. If I know I'm going to be playing a lot, I'll take some Advil. It's not something I like to do, but you know, my mom had terrible arthritis. She ended up with sort of what I would call witch hands. They were all mangled, and I really want to avoid that at all cost. All right. Anyway, let's see. Guitar Channel. Okay, let me see. Copyright that stuff. Big trouble on the horizon. Well, I hope not. You know, I hope there's not big trouble. So anyway, once I've gotten that, the other thing I can do then is shake it a little bit. So I like to every once in a while just loosen up the wrist, not to go crazy, of course, not to really wave it and really mash it, but that helps me loosen up again the forearms before I'm ready to play. All right, so that's it with the stretching and the shaking. Let's get on to some of the exercises. Now, the ones that everybody tells you to do are these. I wonder, Garrett, if some people get in, Garrett asked the question, why do some people get in trouble and others do not? I think, it has a lot to do with posture, but I had very bad posture when I was doing it when I was younger, and sort of how you hold the guitar and how much tension you have. So, anyway, I think maybe that was a copyright question, not the warm-up exercise. Got it. But, I think the more tension that you have in your left hand and right hand, the harder it's going to be for you. Sorry about that. Yeah, certainly with copyright, size of channel has a lot to do with it. Hey, David Smith. Hi, everybody. Okay, so let me just show you a few exercises. The first one is the one that everybody knows about, and it's a chromatic one. So with many of these things, what you got to do is pretty funny, TBA. So with a lot of these things, what you got to do is, what you're trying to do is go slowly and warm up both your right and left hands, right? So you're picking, use a strict alternate up, down picking as you're doing this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go slowly up the fretboard and then down the fretboard. And I'll show you what I mean. So the one that everybody says to do is this one, and it's a chromatic exercise. We're going to start on the first fret right here, and it's just 4. There's no stretches or anything like that. And you play it like this. Now, when you get to the top, you shift up 1. And you don't go down farther. that kind of stuff, right? Yep. This guitar has a lot of buzz in it from this guy right here. All right, so we got that going on. Plus, I got a little breakup on it. I don't like that exercise. Never have, never did. I think it's boring, and I don't know how much it helps you. It's not very musical. So I like doing things that are slightly more musical, maybe not a lot more musical, but I'll do scales that I like. Okay, so I like using major scales. So what I might do is I would pick up the say a major the C pattern in a major scale. Okay, so all right, and the C chord right here, I'm going to start on D. So that D pattern would be right. Very simple one. This is the simplest one you can do. The reason I like it is because it's not so predictable for your right hand. You need to go slowly and evenly to get it. There are some notes or some strings where you have one note, some strings where you have three, some strings where you have two. And because of that, it changes up what you need to do, and it starts to make you be more flexible and I think more fluid as you're doing it. But you do the same thing. So if you pick that one, we're going to go up and down the neck with it. So very slowly and deliberately. And then when you get to the bottom, all right, so all those are really easy to remember. This one's easy to remember. When you get to the top, like here, then you start coming down. Etc. All right. So because of the difference in the picking on the right hand, I think it helps quite a bit to do that. And it's not quite as boring. Every day you can pick a different major scale shape. So you're learning it, right? You're ingraining it in. So there's a little bit of learning that's going on there. The chromatic thing, to me, you're not learning unless you're maybe naming out the notes of the fretboard, which would slow you down quite a bit and kind of hurt on the other. But you can pick any shape, like for example, the G shape right here. Etc. Right? And just keep on doing that and pick a different one every day if you want to. And then, after a week or two, you'll know Caged. I mean, I'm serious. It's good, and it's got that different stuff. You can do that with any scale. You can do it with a diminished, right? Etc. I hate to say it, but one of my absolute favorites, and I tell people this, it's almost like it was a secret weapon when I was learning, is the whole tone scale, because it's different ascending and descending. But you definitely have to put in some love on the whole tone scale. And it's hard to pick. That picking pattern is hard because it's different ascending and descending. You'd see there's different combinations of 2 and 3, and it's not so easy to remember on the ears. So etc. So that's it for sort of the scales. You can do minors if you want to. That's great. Minors is another one you can do for sure. All right. Now, I don't think that's really enough for me because that's just scales, right? But most of the time I'm playing chords and stuff like that. So I want to show you two things. One is something that Satriani does. That Satriani is like an awesome player, but it doesn't work. This sort of thing doesn't work for me. So what he does is he takes chords like this, which is just some weird one, which is, one note apart, right? You want to do some hand stretching, and then he'll invert it. try and play that, nice and clearly, which I was not doing. That doesn't really work for me so much. But somebody mentioned Steve Morse has a bunch of etudes. To me, I think that's exactly what I do. I play a bunch of, I don't know if you guys know this. I think I've sort of alluded to it. I used to play a ton of really early, like 1930s guitar and American guitar. And so there's a guy named Carl Kress that wrote a bunch of songs. And one of the etudes that always stuck in my mind was Love Song. There's an opening act or part to it that I learned and I liked a lot. And what I try to do is it has some chords that force me to stretch my hand. And it has an interesting sort of sound to it. And it also is not easy to play it without making a lot of hey, without making a lot of muffs and stuff like that. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to try and do that, and I'll show you what I mean. This is Love Song, the introduction to it by Carl Kress. I'll see if I can do it justice, but that's it. If I play it a bunch of times, as soon as it starts to sound kind of good with my left hand and my right hand in sync and having it sound mellow, I'm hitting the right vibrato, I think I'm about ready. All right. Oh, Nuage. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Love that. So when I can play that so that it's reasonably smooth, then I'm usually in there. I think if I get it and it's obviously a rubato piece. So as opposed to most etudes, which you want to play nice and smooth and regular. So maybe a combination of playing a little bit of the scale work because you got to get it smooth and regular, and then something like that you can get there. So yeah, I'll do at some point I'll do a lesson on that. I mean, that's a really hard song. I'm very self-conscious about any mistakes that I make in that one. So I appreciate you saying it was nice. But yeah, I'll post it at some point. So yeah, I know I love all that Django stuff, and it just takes a lot of work to get the chops up to where they need to be. At least for me, it does. All right. All right, Dan, I'd be helpful to do a full lesson. I would love to. So I'd be happy to do that. So Nuage, yeah. I don't know if, El Rondo, I know you're a huge Django devotee. I'm going to move this over to here because I think in terms of the play, I don't know how much more I'm going to do, but I think El Rondo is a huge Django devotee. So do you know the version that Frank Vignola does of Nuage? I like it because it's not all orchestrated and that. What are tritones? Oh my. A tritone, so TPA asks, what are tritones? So a tritone is essentially a note that's 3 whole steps above another note, right? So instead of this A, or from this A, let's see if I can do this again. So I've got an A right here, right? So the tritone of A would be 3 whole steps up. So this E flat right here, okay? So that's a tritone of A. So that's the tritone. It sounds kind of evil, right? Supposedly, the Catholic Church banned the use of tritone. I don't know if that's actually true, but I've heard it's true. So yeah, the devil's interval. There you go, the devil's interval. So, but that's what a tritone is. Now, what's interesting about it, I think, is that the tritone is often a note that we're used to hearing now. And when people talk about tritone substitutions, it's instead of using the 5 chord, you'll use the tritone. Let me give you an example of that chord. So instead of saying like in a jazz blues, you might go from you might be coming back on the 2 to the 5 to the 1 chord. If the 1 chord is the 7th, is the A 7th or A dominant, you might be coming back with a right, which is a B minor 7th to a D 9th or D dominant back to the A 7th. So the way I stupidly think of the tritone is I'm just going to use a chromatic tone to get back to that. So instead of playing, I play this. You hear the difference? Versus very, very subtle, right? And so I play the tritone of D instead of the D. The tritone of D is A flat. Now, why are they similar? Why does that sound similar? Well, at least to me, the reason why is because the shape is almost identical. If you think about it, try playing this B minor 7, and then we've got, oh, I'm sorry, I used it of the E, not the D. So tritone of the E. So if we take this E minor E 9th, and we look at we look at, say, a B flat. Geez, I said A flat. A B flat. No wonder I was thinking that way. A B flat 7th. It has basically the same shape. See that? Very similar sorts of shapes. So anyway, that's what I think of. Somebody once told me that it was basically invented by tuba players because they didn't want to play. They wanted a little bit of variation, so they used the chromatic note. Oops. Anyway, whatever. You'll notice that it's the blue note in the blues. Anyway, that's that. All right, so I lost you a long time ago. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But in jazz, the shapes are very similar, so I think that has a lot to do with it. And in the blues, it's the blue note. The blue note is the tritone of the root, right? So if we're playing in A blues, that's the tritone. It's 3 whole steps above that A. And it's a note that's great, but you can't sit on it, right? It's a great color note, but you can't sit on it. The only song that I know that they sit on it or they use it a lot is in Rush's YYZ. Yeah. All right. You know the devil created the blues. All right. All right. Wow. What's a tritone? Okay. A GMAC 72. Oh, no. GMAC made it in time for the quiz. Of course. All right. Anyway. Okay. Any more questions that I can over answer for you? Okay. Let's see. Mark Siebes is on. I think I saw you earlier. Hello. Good to see you. All right. Hey, I got a lot of nice comments on the lyrical soloing. I'm going to try and incorporate some of that stuff. Willie Nelson's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. I'm going to do that solo. What a beautiful solo that is. Yeah. and some of the other things as well. People mentioning some other great stuff. A lot of good talk about Knopfler, Brothers in Arms, and so many of Knopfler tunes where he plays really lyrical stuff. All right. Ran off and got the crossword. That sounds like that's right for the quiz. Okay. And people get ready. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. So I'm going to try and do more of that. I like that style of play. By the way, not to beat a horse too much to death, but knowing that stuff makes a lot of the like tritones and stuff like that a lot easier to understand, at least for me, in terms of how to use it. And a lot of the chords I'm using in there are chord shapes that come from that drop chords. All right. The crossword has a whole paper attached. So we are in time for the quiz. I'm going to apologize beforehand. There's a couple of really difficult questions in here, but we'll see how we do. I was so tired after that marathon flight travel. I just didn't have the energy to keep doing it on the quiz. I was going to do it on the plane. I didn't. So anyway, hey, again, I'm gonna say whoever wins the quiz, the chance you get the chance to let me know in the comments the song that you want, and then that song gets bumped up to near the list. Hammer to Fall got moved up, so that song I've been working on, at least in my brain, the last couple weeks. All right, Lewis, I will tab up those warm-up scales for you. I will do that. And I will also, I promise to do a lesson on Love Song by Carl Kress, at least that little opening part. That is beautiful. I love it. Okay, so here we go. You can guess the theme. So I get to pick who the winner is. It can't always be GMAC, by the way. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, Gib, good to see you. Let's see. Here's the first one. You get to guess the, I'm not going to tell you what the theme is, except maybe I already told you. All right. Bright Light City, gonna set my soul on fire are the opening words to what song? Do 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 do. GMAC coming in like instantly. Viva Las Vegas, you got it. GMAC, Scooter C. TBA, I'm Anonymous. Elvi coming through with that. Yeah, I know. That was quick. Okay. Another bunny question here. Kenny Rogers' most famous song. Kenny Rogers' most famous song. It's What You Do at Vegas. Except not me. The Gambler, I'm Anonymous, GMAC, Frank Ortega, Robbie Love, Siebes, Nemo Unknown, Ron, Fenderman 73, Lewis, TBA. I think pretty much everybody got that one. Take a sip of breakfast here. Okay, we're all in the running so far with GMAC going to run the exhibition. Okay, here we go. Don't you draw the queen? Don't you draw the queen? I'll try to sing this one. Don't you draw the queen of diamonds, boy. She'll beat you if she's able. What song? Sorry. Desperado by the Eagles, right. Partly about gambling. Scooter, Fenderman, Geert, I'm Anonymous, GMAC, Ron, Frank, TBA, Mudweiser, Siebes, Lewis. All right, we all got that one. Okay, here we go. The title of the 14th studio album by Rush also means playing dice or taking chances in life. Copyright probably is. I didn't think of that. Damn. Theme is gambling. You got it, Geert. Roll the Bones. That's right. The title of the 14th studio album by Rush also means playing dice or taking chances in life. That's Rush's Roll the Bones. That was a return to commercial success for Rush. Okay. What is special about Brian Setzer's signature Gretsch that has to do with gambling? What is special about Brian Setzer's signature Gretsch? Oh, man, that was fast. That's right. It has It has knobs that are dice. It has knobs that are dice, but it doesn't have these cool F holes, right? These Art Deco F holes. Aren't these? I like those. All right. It's got dice volume controls. Okay. Let's see. This Graham Parsons song features some hot leads from James Burton. This Graham Parsons song features, maybe done by the Flying Burrito Brothers, I'm not sure, features some hot leads from James Burton. Hot Burrito. G-Mac and Fenderman, Ooh, Las Vegas. You are right. That song has, go listen to that song. That song is incredible. Really great playing on that one. Ooh, Las Vegas. Great song. Great song. Okay, here we go. This Bob Seger song was from this album of the same title from 1968. This Bob Seger song was from the album of the same title from 1968. I can't sing it because I don't know the words. It's like, no, I'm only 13 and I left home. Yeah. Rambling, Gambling Man. Rambling, Gambling Man, you got it. I'm Anonymous, Fenderman, Frank, Gibb, G-Mac. G-Mac had brain freeze. Oh, no. Mudweiser. Siebes, drawing a blank. Rambling, Gambling Man. That's right. Lewis got it. Okay. All right. The song in which the singer sings, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. What song is that? And who does it? If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Born Under a Bad Song by Albert King. Bad Sign, I mean, you're right. Born Under a Bad Sign. I'm Anonymous. Scooter C. G-Mac is feeling shame from missing a single question. Oh my gosh. Robbie Love, David Smith, Mudweiser, G-Mac. I'm Anonymous. Lewis, Robbie Love, Cream. Yeah, that's right. Cream did one too. But it's Albert King's original. He didn't write it, but it was. I think he was original performer. Yep. Robin Ford has an awesome version of that song as well. Should check it out. Really good. Okay, here we go. Song from Exile on Main Street, where it's a Stones to cry because all you women is low down gamblers cheating like I don't know how. Tumbling Dice. You got it. G-Mac, I'm Anonymous, Fenderman 73, Scooter C, Gibb, Mudweiser. One of my favorite openings. Doesn't it have a great opening? You listen to that opening, right? It's a do, bam, bam. It's a great song. Nice little riff there. The Stones were probably, of all the top 10 best openings to any songs, the Stones probably had 9 of them. And I don't know, maybe Rod Stewart and AC/DC had a few, but the Stones, just so many good starts to their songs, like that one or Monkey Man. All right, so many. Okay, here we go. All right, this one's kind of at the edge of when I was listening to popular music. Let's see. If you like to gamble, I tell you, I'm your man. You win some, you lose some, all the same to me. I don't share your greed. The only card I need is the what? Geert's got it. What's the only card I need? Geert, getting it with the Ace of Spades, Mudweiser, Motorhead. Yeah, that one's pretty hard, Rock. Pretty hard. Win some, you lose some, all the same to me. Yep. Okay. Ace of Spades. Okay. A lot of people getting that one. Garrett, I think, came in first, and Mudweiser were the first two to get it. Took a while. Okay, here's a tough one. This one's really kind of obscure, gang. It's the Elton John song in which he says, the girl in the title rolls like the dice in a poor gambler's hands. She rolls like the dice in a poor gambler's hands. Not Tiny Dancer, no. It's later. It's from the album Don't Let the Sun, Caribou. It's from the album Caribou, Tiny Dancers from earlier. It's going to be tough. It's the second song on Caribou. American version, anyway. It's a lovely song. It's definitely a good contrast to Motorhead. It's a song called Pinky. Pinky rolls like the dice in a poor gambler's hands. Okay, that was probably the hardest one. Okay, but not the softest rock question. I'm just warning you. Okay, this place in New Orleans was the ruin of many a poor boy. This place in New Orleans was the ruins of many a poor boy. His father was a gambling man. House of the Rising Sun, Geert, GMAC, Scooter, Mudweiser, Fenderman 73, Nemo Unknown, TBA, I'm Anonymous, Mark Siebes, David Smith. Nice. Okay, halfway through. Okay, another toughie. The 1970 album from Badfinger includes No Matter What and Without You. 1970 album from Badfinger, includes the song No Matter What. What's the album that came from? Ooh, that's toughie. No Badfinger fans out there, huh? About 5 feet away. Apple Records, yeah. Something Dice, you got it. Actually, Nothing Dice, Fender Man. It's close to not. It's not something. It's more like nothing. Frank, no dice. That's right. Fender Man got no dice. It's called No Dice. I didn't know that. I had no clue. And when I was trolling around, I was like, oh, No Dice. That's the album? Really? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Card Cheat is a song by the same band, by this band. The Card Cheat is a song by this band, this British band. Yes, very sad story about that band. I agree about Badfinger. So sad. Badfinger, No Dice is the album, 1970. The Card Cheat is a song by this band. The Clash, that's right. That's right, Mark. It's on their album London Calling, so it's on their most famous album. Okay. Maybe we get back to easier ones for a while. This AC/DC song is nominally about a playing card, but it's probably about venereal disease. This AC/DC song is nominally about a playing card, but it's more likely about a venereal disease. I'm Anonymous, got it. The Jack, GMAC, Mudweiser, Geert getting in gear now. Mark Siebes. Renaissance Man, I don't know. Chromatic scale exercise, I don't know. They're boring and they're not very musical, and I don't know. So I'm not pushing it. It's just something that everybody does. There we go. Guitar VD. Yeah. Yes, it really is about that. Okay, this one goes back to 1953. Ray Charles said, I gambled your love, baby, and got something. What did I get? I gambled on your love, baby, and got this. Song from Ray Charles, 1953. Got the Jack. No, no. Yeah, you're right on, Renaissance Man. Absolutely. 1953, I gambled on your love, baby, and got a losing hand. Maybe that's also about venereal disease, although I hope not. Okay. This is an Aerosmith song from their comeback years, and they play this at the MGM Grand. an Aerosmith song from their comeback years. I think it was published in 1994. Remember when they came back a little bit because of Wayne's World? They got popular again. They did Love in an Elevator, and they were off drugs for a while. They came back. This is a song they play in the MGM Grand for that. Eat the Rich. I'll take that. That's good. It's called Deuces Wild. It's not one of their better songs. Okay, let's do an easy one, but a contemporary one. The Lady Gaga song about keeping your cool while playing cards. It's also a term for keeping cool when you're playing cards. Poker Face, Mudweiser, Matt Delahunt, Fenderman, Siebes, Scooter, McDon BR. All right, a lot of people getting this one. So I told you there were some hard ones in here. Okay. Poker Face, Lewis. All right. Finally, I found something that maybe stumped GMAC on the monitor stuff. Okay. Here's a Grateful Dead song. It starts with, since it costs a lot to win and even more to lose, you and me bound to spend some time wondering what to choose. Grateful Dead song starting with, since it costs a lot to win and even more to lose, you and me bound to spend some time wondering what to choose. Robbie Love got it. Deal. The song is called Deal. That's a good song. That's a good song. Good song. Okay. Here's the softer one. Believe it or not, even softer. In this song, Juice Newton says, the Joker ain't the only fool who will do anything for you. Oh, I want to give a few people more love on that last one. Robbie Love, Scooter, Lewis, I'm Anonymous. All right. The Joker ain't the only fool who'll do anything for you. Juice Newton said in what song? Queen of Hearts, GMAC, Mudweiser, Nemo Unknown, I'm Anonymous, Fenderman 73, McDon BR, Scooter C. See, I know we're all cool here, but we heard that song. We kind of dug it, didn't we? All right. Okay. All right. Lewis got that one. Sheryl Crow's song about Las Vegas from her first album. It's also a movie title of a movie starring Nicolas Cage. Sheryl Crow's song about Las Vegas from her first album, also the movie of the same title starring Nick Cage. Leaving Las Vegas, you got it. GMAC, Siebes, Fenderman, Mudweiser, Geert, Nemo Unknown, McDon BR, I'm Anonymous, Scooter C. Lots of people got that one. Good song, actually. Okay. In this song, it's actually the favorite of mine of this title. I think it's much better than the other one. Alice Cooper declares in this song, I'm a gambler and I'm a runner, but you knew that when you laid down. What song is that? I'm a gambler and I'm a runner, but you knew that when you laid down. Desperado, you got it. I love that song. Fenderman 73 got it. I'm Anonymous, McDon BR, Lewis, Mudweiser. I love that song. It's a great song. To me, it beats Eagles' Desperado by a mile. Well, Eagles' Desperado is pretty good too, gotta say. All right. Let's see. We got a couple more to go. All right. It's Alice being Jim Morrison. Okay. This Bob Dylan song has an entire cast of characters, including the Hangin' Judge and Big Jim. This Bob Dylan song has an entire cast of characters, including the Hangin' Judge and Big Jim. It's from Blood on the Tracks. No Dylan fans out there. Joker and the Ace of Hearts. Close. Lily and the Ace of Hearts. Close enough. Lily, Rosemary, and the Ace and the Queen of Hearts, the Jack of Hearts. Sorry, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. Yeah, Lily, go listen to it. It's fun. It's really fun. That's my favorite of all the Dylan albums. I like that one for sure. Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. The hanging judge was sober. There was not a drop around. All right. Last one. Oh, you don't like that song? Oh man, I like that song a lot. But you're right. There's so many good ones on that album. So many good ones. I mean, Tangled Up and Blue, of course, but so many other great ones. Okay, this song from the King of Las Vegas, song about gambling, is one of his most well-known. He's also known as Old Blue Eyes. He never really was, but he's known as that now. Idiot Win, You're a Big Girl Now, great song. Frank Sinatra's right. What's the song about gambling that's one of his most famous? Sinatra is right. Which song about gambling is one of his famous? Where he's speaking to the gods of gambling, so to speak. Luck Be a Lady Tonight. Right. Luck Be a Lady Tonight. When I walked into my hotel room in Vegas, that was playing. I kid you not. They have all this Frank Sinatra stuff's playing, and that one was playing. Luck Be a Lady Tonight. Okay. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I know the quiz was kind of hard. We did a few hard questions on this one, but you guys did great. I don't know who gets to be the winner today. I'm gonna pick. Yes, subliminal messaging for sure. I'm gonna pick Fenderman 73. So Fenderman 73. Today you're the winner. You came up on a lot of them for sure. And so if you put in the notes the song that you'd like to move up to the top, or technique, if there's a technique you'd like to do, like you like the warm-up exercises, or you want to see what I was doing with Love Song, you put that in there as well. But any technique or song, put it in the comments below, and you get bumped up to the front of the line right after Hammer to Fall. Okay. All right. Yeah, Mudweiser, you did great too. So a lot of people coming on in this one. It wasn't all GMAC today, although GMAC did very, very well. Every quiz I could just give to GMAC, and nobody would really knock me on that one. Well, Mud, maybe next time for sure, but it was really close. It was definitely really close. You can put one in the notes too. It was really close. All right. Anyway, gang, I'm gonna cut out a little bit early. We've done only 40 minutes today. I'll hang a little bit, maybe answer some questions, but I am like super tired. I need to get outside from being in airports all week, airport and hotel all week. I didn't leave for the convention. So any Doobie Brothers song that hasn't been done is fine. Okay, got it. If you have a specific one, let me know and I'll put it in there. All right, Mudweiser, take care. Thank you. Thanks, Lewis. I really appreciate it. I really do. And thanks for joining me on a Sunday. Geert, as always, thank you. TBA, thank you. Scooter C, thank you. I'm anonymous. All right, there goes another rubber tree plant. That's a different song. All right, Ron was here. Ron Shack, thank you. Robbie did great today in the quiz too. Scooter did too. Wow, a lot of people in this quiz that we haven't seen. Nemo Unknown, thank you. Mark Siebes, thank you for being on today. Always appreciate it. And all right. So like I said, I'm going to hang and answer maybe a question or two if people have them that are not about tritones. Over answer. Yeah, I'll get some rest for sure. Take a sip of breakfast here. I think I'm going to watch that movie Snatch too. I haven't seen that in years. The one with where they steal the diamonds. No Snow. Yeah, No Snow. The one with it has a bunch of people has Brad Pitt and the guy who's the former Olympic diver, the guy with the bald head, but tough guy, British guy. Did I ever get the skunk smell out of my basement? I got the skunks out. You know, what you do here is you hire somebody, and my wife works at a nature center here in town, and so one of the ex people who did that, he has a business of skunk removal and pest removal, but he does that. So he's a good guy. So he did it, trapped him out. Then it just takes time. Ocean's 11. Jason Statham, that's right. That's who I was trying to think of. Jason Statham. I like his movies. They're kind of mindless, but I like it. He's good. I think he's a good action actor. The skunk stuff. That's right. That's right. The Jay Giles stuff. You know, I got to do some Jay Giles. I love Jay Giles. I just haven't. I haven't heard too much. I think somebody's trying to sneak in here in the room while we're playing here.
Sorry, I'm printing.
I know. I heard the printer go off. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
I'm just waiting for my prints to come out.
Somebody might be.
I'm sorry.
You're waiting for your prints. That's my wife saying she's still waiting for her prints. How that's talk about an ego blast. Did you miss one? Do I practice with a metronome? Do I practice with metronome? I do not usually practice with a metronome. I like putting them on backing tracks, though. That's kind of fun. You know, I hate to say this, but I had a mentor when I was in high school. I went over his house and he practiced in front of the TV. He put on the TV and he would just play. And I hate to say this, but that's how I warm up sometimes. I just sit in front of the TV and just play some stuff mindlessly. But when I really want to practice, you know, I'll put on I sometimes put on a metronome. Yeah. I don't force myself to do that anymore, though, but there was a time when I did. Yeah, you could quiz her for sure. You can quiz her. Yeah, play along with songs is I think helpful. And anymore, I have a looper. I have a couple of loopers. One of the loopers I have is the Trio Plus, which actually has sort of like a band in the box type of things, but you can get them cheaper now too. I'm trying to remember the name of it, the pedal, but it's like $99 pedal, and it has a bunch of drum backing tracks that are in it, and it has some bass lines as well, and it's really, really nice. NUM maybe, NAM, I can't remember. The Num Looper, I can't remember. Nemo Unknown, good to see you. But it's not that expensive. It looks pretty good. I don't have it, but it looks pretty good, and it's great. Also, the Beat Buddy is kind of nice too, but that's an expensive pedal. So Fender's app has a good metronome. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Oh yeah, the Num Plus is like $140. Okay. Okay. The Jam Man. Yeah, the Jam Man. That's what I wondered about that. It was a good pedal, but I remember a friend of mine had it. It was hard to. I couldn't figure it out. The Trio Plus, it's so easy. You just step on a pedal, you record what you're playing, and it kind of hears you back. And usually, it gets it pretty reasonable. It gets a pretty reasonable drum beat, and it's there. But then you're recording the track, and then you're recording your play over it. So. To me, that helps me tune into what the chord progression is too, because I have to kind of play it first and not just throwing it on and playing lead, but I'm thinking more about the chord structures and how to play it. So, I mean, I think a lot when I play leads, I think a lot about chords and chord positions in different parts of the neck. I didn't used to as much, but I do now. I think almost exclusively about chords. And so having to play the chord progression beforehand makes a big difference. I'm going to move this over here. It makes a difference. So, yeah. Brett Papa Cage soloing paid course. I haven't seen it. I like Brett. That's Papa Stash, right? I like that guy. I like his playing. And he's not pretentious. He doesn't say he knows a lot about modes and modal play and stuff like that, but he has a good style, and I think he records well. He's got a good attitude. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. Huh. Okay. Not the case with your mom. Oh, I see. T-Bone Shuffle by Robert Cray. Okay. Scott, put it in the comments so I'll remember that, because otherwise it's going to be buried up here. Put it in, not the side comments, but put it in the regular comments when this gets posted. Yeah, T-Bone Shuffle. You know, T-Bone's Boogie, I think, is really good by T-Bone. He has great T-shirts. Is that right? I'll have to check them out. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Most of the people, not all the people that I've met via YouTube, are just they're really nice people. Not all of them. A couple of them are jerks, but they're all pretty nice people. So, you know, I don't have a problem talking. That was my big thing. I met somebody in, it was a fellow YouTuber, not a guitar guy at all. I met him in Las Vegas, total coincidence. And we were both at the same conference, which is I go to a conference in what's called mass torts. So it's sort of like class action lawsuits. It's a conference about that. And so it's all about how, you know, we can do our part to make the big companies pay when they've wronged somebody, when they've really hurt somebody and it's their fault. Anyway, and I mean, at least I'm not a lawyer, so I can feel like I'm not trying to drain everything from everybody. But a lot of the lawyers that you meet there are pretty good people too. Some are probably good people, but they're a little full of themselves. Steve Stein is really good. Yeah, now I mean he's definitely a theory and exercise guy, and more of a scale and modes guy. I like him a lot. He's got excellent tattoos too. But no, seriously, Steve Stein is great. He's real calm, and he's a good teacher. Good teacher. James. Oh yeah, James. I think that guy's I've never talked to him or anything like that. I like him a lot. Guthrie Tramp I've seen come up a couple of times. I got to check out his channel. Don't get me started, GMAC. I can't say those jokes because I work with a lot of good lawyers now. After he picked the fight, who picked a fight with Phil McKnight? Who's that? Sounds like a title of a song. Oh, thank you, I'm anonymous. I appreciate that. I was wondering when somebody was going to say no. Thank you. I appreciate it. Brad, the guitarologist. Don't know him. So who picked a fight with Phil McKnight? Privet Tricker is James. Private Tricker is James. They're the same people. I like James because he uses Nigel Tufnell from Spinal Tap as his avatar. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, GMAC. James picked the fight with. Why would he pick a fight with that guy? What's wrong with Phil McKnight? He's okay. Phil seems to be okay. I mean, Phil's trying to make a business on YouTube, and I think he does pretty well, right? Yeah. I always wondered about that. James doesn't get his stuff taken down. It's like he just plays the background. He's just playing a cover over the actual album, and he never gets his stuff taken down. I don't get it. Must not. I mean, you know, we're at the level. I'm at the same level as like a little bit lower in terms of membership than James, and it doesn't. He doesn't get his stuff taken down. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Brad the guitarologist fought with Phil. I don't know who Brad the guitarologist is. I may have seen him. He's kind of like a recent guy, right? He's a recent guy. You know, yeah, James is good. He plays a bunch of covers. He doesn't always teach all that much, but sometimes he does, and it's just very informal. I like James. So, you know, though, so I'll tell you, Fender Man, people were trying to get me to start like picking fights with people. It's a way to get popular. I just think it's unfortunate, but it's a way to get popular on YouTube is to pick fights with whomever. I think that Music is Win guy. I don't know his name. Tyler something. He and this Jared Dines, who also does like real heavy metal stuff, I guess got into this fake fight, and that's what boosted his channel. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah. TBA's right, GMAC. You should check out James James. He's got a good channel. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He used to be Private Tricker, and he closed that channel down. Is that right? People threatened his wife. People are just sick. I mean, that's just really sick. Why would you threaten somebody's wife because they play a song in a way that you don't approve? Or I have to say, it's sometimes stressful, right? Even when you get a nasty comment and for no reason, or even when you get a comment that somebody just doesn't like you or like your stuff, and it's not really, they didn't really think it out. It's hard. It really is. I mean, many of the comments, most people are really gratifying and nice. Even when they don't like what I do, they'll say something like, Mark, I really love your channel, but I tell you on this one, I think you probably should play it this way. Or yeah, I don't mind a comment like that, because look, I'm just, I've tried to figure it out the best way I can using my fingers, and then I can try and help other people. That's all I'm trying to do. And that's all I'm trying to do. And it does hurt when somebody's nasty to you. It's awful. I don't understand why people are that way. Some people are, though. What happens when you roll around in the mud with a pig? Yeah, that's right. Wow. Somebody told him he had tracked him down. Whoa. That's terrible. I had no idea. But yeah, I don't think he answers anybody or anything like that. All these comments were disabled. Yeah. Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate that. I try to be a nice guy. I have an ego like everybody else. I get mad like anybody else once in a while, but for the most part, I try and keep a nice view of it. Rick Beato, yeah, Rick Beato did fight Sean Daniel for a while. I think both those guys have a bit of an ego. Sean maybe a little bit less. I don't know. I've responded with Sean a little bit. He's got a good sense of humor. I like Sean. It's funny. Rick is lived here in Ithaca for a long time. He taught at Ithaca College, taught guitar there, and I know a lot of people who are there. One of the best musicians I know teaches at Ithaca College, and he knows Beato, and he obviously knows his stuff. Yeah. Rick is he tries to be controversial. I mean, I think Rick knows how to build a channel and make money. I mean, I think that's what it is. And sad or happy to say, part of that is being, acting like you're the man, acting like you're a bad mofo, as a friend of mine used to say. Yeah, he's definitely smart. He definitely knows his stuff. And I've never met him. Like I say, if I met him, he might be a great guy to have a beer with. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't, Garrett, I get that impression. I don't know for sure, because I've watched some of his videos, and they are his videos are really good content. I'll watch sometimes the first 5 minutes and get enough out of it so I say, okay, I didn't really think about it that way before. Maybe that makes sense to think about it. And then there's another 50 minutes where he's going into details that I don't care to go into. And I like his series of Why Is This Music Great? That's fun. You bought the Beato book. So Fenderman 73. So I wanted to know, that is the Beato book still just all handwritten? The copy that I saw and had was all just handwritten. It was It was basically just a pile of tablatures strung together. Has it been modernized? It's printed now. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He aggressively promotes. Hey, look, making it in the music business is tough. I have the luxury of not being in the business part of it. So, unless you get nasty, I'm not going to worry about it. I mentioned this about, somebody like Ian Stitch is making big strides these days. You mean in how so, TBA? I'm just kind of interested in he's making big strides. I'm glad to hear it. I have never Oh, well, wait a second. I have interacted with him once. I bought something off of his website, which I do, by the way. I try and support other players. If they have memberships, I'll join them. Robert Renman is a guy I like a lot too. More subscribers plus hosting live workshops. Okay, good to know. So that's good to know about Ian Stitch. I haven't interacted much with him, but I'll tell you, I ordered like some $2 thing that was off his website, and it didn't immediately come over. There was a glitch in it, and he was all over it. He emailed it to me. He said, "I'm sorry." I was like, no big deal at all. I just wanted to let you know I didn't get it. And says, "Oh, I got to fix a website." But he was like super nice. So, and he clearly knows what he's doing. Yeah. I can't remember. Who's the guy who does a lot of 50s blues rock and roll songs that are a bit off the beaten path? There was a guy a long time ago. I don't think he interacts with anybody. Twang King or My Twangy Guitar. Maybe is that guy. He doesn't interact with anybody. He doesn't show his face. Yeah, I agree. GMAC, he seems genuinely nice, which is great. Does lessons every 3 months. My Twangy Guitar, yeah. Yeah. He's a good player, but he really sticks to his repertoire and plays that early stuff. Adrian Woodward. I don't know him. He sounds like he's got a lot of guitars. My Twangy Guitar, yeah. Yeah, he does. He used to always use this orange Telecaster with a chambered body, which was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then all of a sudden, he just got a bunch of other stuff. Jerry's Guitar breaks down stuff. Okay, good to know. I'll check that out, TBA. Jerry's Guitar. Always looking for ways that other teachers teach. All right. Tomo Fujita. Well, I don't know him. I'm not sure I like the trend that a lot of these guys like what's not My Guitar Sage, Samurai Guitarist. Again, seems like another nice guy, but he's doing more of these stories of what good stories and bad stories from working at Guitar Center or that. The videos seem to do well, so I guess people like to listen to it. And he does his videos well. Adrian. Okay, I got to check out Adrian Woodward. And Adrian's Anyone Can Play. Yeah, I like him. He's good. I've seen a few of his. And Tomo Finita. Okay, so I'll check him out as well. I'm Anonymous is saying more rockabilly. I think I will start. I'm going to start doing more rockabilly. I got the guitar out, so why not? Samurai is here in TO. Is that right? Yeah. He seems okay. He seems like a nice guy. I think a lot of people like Samurai Guitarist. Damien Bocci. Yeah, I've seen Damien's stuff. Yep. His videos have so many cuts in them. It's like, oh my God. But he definitely knows what he's playing. No question about that. Definitely. He was Mayer's tutor at Berklee. Damien was? He doesn't seem old enough. I remember Mayer was at Berklee for a year or two. I used to live in Boston, so I came this close to going to Berklee. Decided to get married instead. Blues Guitar Unleashed, Griffin Hamlin. Yeah, Damien's definitely a good player. Okay. Blues Guitar Unleashed. Okay. Check him out for sure. All right. Yeah, one of the things I do that's probably bad for my channel is I do so many different types of music. So if I could keep to one thing, like I do a lot of, when I do blues, I think a lot of people like it, especially sort of the slower blues. I'm sort of I'm more of a, at least I think of myself as thinking like Robin Ford or Larry Carlton, where I think major blues first, and then I can mix in the minor pentatonic, where I think a lot of people are more like, say, Robert Cray or whatever, or Clapton, where they think minor pentatonic first and put in major, but or Stevie Ray. I like all the blues, and I do pretty well. But the videos where I post blues do pretty well, but I don't know. I get too many interests. Yeah. Well, I like it. It's good for me too, Garrett. That I like one thing, then I'll play another, and so for like the People Get Ready, right? I love that style too. I love R&B, but I could never do all R&B. It's just I couldn't do it. Every once in a while, I feel like I want to rock it a bit. Justin's doing some stuff. Yeah, Justin's great. Justin really knows what he's doing. Justin Sanderco. Yeah, he really knows what he's doing. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, folks. I'm going to get going now for sure. Gary Moore Blues. John F., you got it. I'll do some Gary Moore. Not easy. Not easy to emote like that. He's got the fingers. Had the fingers. Great player. Justin teaches Anderton. Yeah, actually, Justin teaches Anderton is really good too. The lessons that he does are really good. All right, I got to get going now, gang. Thanks so much for sharing your Sunday with me, as always. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Okay. Or maybe we won't. Next week's Easter. I didn't even think of that. Oh, yeah, Easter's probably not going to be the greatest attended, but anyway, maybe we'll do it anyway. All right. We'll see you down the road.